Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Patita Pavan Srila Guru Deva. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Patita Pavan Srila Guru. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. So if everybody can take a seat. So thank you so much for coming. Welcome to Madurai. Hari Bol. So today we have a Sangha presentation by Group 9, whose leader is Abai. So Abai, where's Abai? Give a big round of applause to Abai! He's going to come and introduce what we're going to be doing today. Or Advait.
Hare Krishna, everybody. So, our Sangha group presentation is a series of games where we will be walking you through the yatra so far. So we'll have 4 stations, one for each of the places that we've been to so far. So to summarize, we'll have Simhachalam, Kurmakshetra, Rajamandri, and Sri Rangam. Okay, but you guys need to know where you're starting. We'll have 4 rounds, and at each round, each group will be at a different station. The idea is you'll get to walk through the yatra and play games at each of the places we've been to, so you can test your knowledge and prove your knowledge. We'll have Station A right here is Simhachalam, so near the stage. Station B is Kurmakshetra. This is where Rudra and Veda, you can raise your hand. Rajamandri will be C, back there with myself, near where Shastra, raise your hand, thank you very much. And Station D is Sri Rangam with Abhay. You'll be sitting in this nice arrangement of chairs there. So, to start off, you guys will need to get with your Sangha groups. I'll read out which stations each of your Sangha groups need to be at. So, all right, perfect. Can we have Sangha groups 1 and 2 right here at the stage? Can we have Sangha groups 3 and 4 with Rudra and Veda? Can we have Sangha groups 6 and 7 with at the back with Shastra? Well, he's not going to be there anymore, but at the back. And groups 8 and 10 with Abhay. Thank you very much. I know. Abhay was going to take care of that. Did you talk to Mara? Yeah, okay. I just said feel free to walk around.
Sangha group 10 here, Sangha group 8 here. Anyone missing from your group? Anyone missing?
You know what's so funny? I was talking with Gopal in the group yesterday. He doesn't even know who's in the front.
Can I call him?
Anyone missing from your group? Can you? Actually, I don't want the audience to miss. Oh, watch. All right. Everyone, this is the game. Please pay attention.
Oh, hi. Yes.
Are you with you? So the game is, each group will have 1 minute to come. Each group will have 1 minute to come up with as many emojis to words related to Sri Rangam as possible. So for example,
Please go ahead.
For example, this, can anyone guess what this is?
We have to guess it? Or
No. This is an example.
Uttamar Goel.
It's Trimurti, yes.
This,
Yes.
but
Okay, so that's an example of what you will be coming up from related to Sri Rangam. If you can't think of any, just do anything related to Yatra. Does everyone understand the game?
Wait, are we making emojis?
Yeah, make emojis connected to that.
we're making emojis or we're giving
No,
emojis?
like use emojis that you know. Everyone take out your phones.
Oh.
Everyone take out your phones.
Related to
Everyone good with the game? Everyone understand?
Is it related to
Preferably, if not, it's fine.
We have a group chat,
Are you
yeah.
guys good?
That we haven't used since first week.
Okay, we are starting.
Abay, you gotta wait, bro.
Good?
I sent you.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. 1 minute each.
What are we making emojis for? Everything?
Yeah. Sri Rangam specifically.
Just Srirangam area.
If you can't think of any, you can expand to Yatras. But try to do Srirangam. This is group 8. Oh, sorry, this is group 8. Sangha group 8 goes here. Five, four, three, two, one. Time's up. Alright, let's see. Everyone stop, put down your phone.
Stop.
Stop.
Let us see yours.
Hey, stop. Hey, stop.
Sassy or something. He ripped her hair. We only said one each. Right. Only one each.
Now we're just singing. Don't know what we do. Start chanting something. You're 100% Lisa. Start chanting.
Wait.
Start chanting Sita Kalyan. Were you there during that? Given Sita Kalyan and Shrikers Nagat.
Alright, you guys have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's yours.
Are you ready? So this is the first part. So we have the doors. We have door 2, which is basically try and reject. Right? It's doors 2. And then we have 4 more. Okay. So it's white. This is supposed to be a dome. It's a gold disc.
Okay, what's yours?
It's a white dome. It's a white dome. It's the white dome.
I'm putting my ball out.
I mean, like, if you type in dome, that's the first one. Yeah. Mike, when do you want to switch?
We should have switched 2 minutes ago.
So should we make an announcement?
Are they not done? Okay, I'll make the announcement after I finish.
Yeah.
Then it's the body with the face.
Okay.
And then praying is Buddha, which is like Lakshmi. Then it's like the Lakshmi, the great Lakshmi. And this is the illiterate.
Okay, very cool.
That was the
Five. You guys had 6? They win. Haribol, the rounds are now over. We will switch.
Are they done also?
For Group A, Simhachalam, on the stage, we want Groups 8 and 4 to go there. Sangha Groups 8 and 4 move to Simhachalam.
This is a game where you can different places.
For Kurmak Kshetra, we want Groups 1 and 7 to go there. 1 and 7 to go to Kurmak Kshetra.
Okay.
What? Oh, Kurmak Kshetra over there, where I'm pointing right now. Thank you. Sorry. Rajamundri in the back with Advaita, we want Groups 3 and 10. And finally, where I am, we want Groups 6 and 2 in Sri Rangam. Haribol. Total group? All right, everyone. Please take your seats. What group are you in? Are you 2? Say what you do. Are you all group 6? Okay. This is how the game will work. I have 20 seconds to explain, so I need to hurry up. Basically, you will be creating emoji connections with words related to
Emotional connections?
emoji. So for example, it is the Yu-Chan game, but you'll be creating the game.
Oh, so
For
you like,
example,
okay.
this, can anyone guess what this is? Yes. So you will be creating these sort of things. If you can't think of words related to Sri Rangam, then do it generally. But try to keep it Sri Rangam. Whoever has more emoji connections, which team, wins at the end. You have 1 minute to come up with as many as you can. Wait, hold on, not yet.
Do we need our
Yeah, everyone's in your phone. We can do whatever we want. Alright. Where's Alan? Alright. 5. Everyone ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, start.
For Sri Rangam. Time is up. No more creation. Alright, how many? Is it on the same video? Oh, Sri Rangam. How many names? Oh, they're all different. This is just a couple Sri Rangam. And then this is because he's laying
Haribol, everyone. No, you won.
How many did they have?
Okay, we will be doing another rotation. Groups 6 and 7, please go to Simhachalam on the stage.
Wait, that's when we started. We have to normalize it. There are more people.
Huh?
We have to normalize it. There are more people.
You have the same amount of people. It's the same amount. Groups 3 and 4, go to Kurmak Kshetra on B. Huh? Simachalam 6 and 7. Kurmak Kshetra, groups 3 and 4. Oh, sorry, yeah. My bad. 8 and 10 in Kurmak Kshetra. 1 and 2 in Rajamundri. And 3 and 4 in Sri Rangam. Yes.
Group 3 here, group 4 here.
I didn't realize it could be this interactive.
Alright, everyone. This is how the game will work. Who here has joined UChamp once? Have you played the emoji game?
Yes.
No.
It's where you have emojis, like these, and you try to guess the word. Oh, you guys can't see these. Can you all see the emojis?
Yeah.
What is this?
Reword
Three more things, yes. Three more things.
Yes.
You will be creating the
And you self-invented creating them yourself.
yes.
You mean like draw them?
Very smart.
No, you use emojis. Everyone bring your phones out.
Which videos are you using it for?
I don't even know
Would you make the emojis that are group? Group 2? Oh, fine.
Waiting for your turn.
Haha, genius.
No, no one start.
No time, we're getting ready.
It's easiest if you text in your Sangha group chat.
Yeah.
Team 4, did you hear? It's easiest to text in your Sangha group chat.
Only from Sri Rangam or it could be from anywhere? Only from Sri Rangam?
Sri Rangam, specific pastime. Is everyone ready? As many as you want, as long as it explains the pastime correctly.
Are we starting?
We're starting in 3, 2, 1, start. 1 minute. Ooh. 30 seconds left.
It's fine, just keep it.
10 seconds left. Alright, time. Everybody put your phones down, no more texting. Is your group? What is this, Salasha?
That's like
No, Shingadeva can't do it.
That's true. That was me and the
Questions book.
4 questions book. We distributed the 4 questions book.
Alright, 2. How many?
4 questions is not Oh, yo.
Huh?
3. You could have done like.
How many do they have?
Could have done like
Did
a
everyone understand that had to do with Sri Rangam?
No, I didn't get it.
Wait, just make the 4 questions.
Did I not say it was Sri Rangam?
Yeah, you did.
I don't know. I don't know.
Why'd you put it earlier, bro?
I just told him that now. Round coming again. Oh, wait, bro, then we have it.
Alright, David.
How many did they get? 6? What was it?
Vishnu, 7 crocodiles. Haribol, everyone. Change your rounds. Last change. Okay. Groups 3 and 10 in Samachalam playing charades. That's on the stage. Groups 6 and 2 in Kurmak Kshetra playing taboo with Veda Rajesh. Groups 8 and 4 playing trivia with Advaita in Rajamundri. And groups 1 and 7 in Sri Rangam. 7 here, 1 there.
You could have just told everyone to go to the station that they haven't been to.
Yeah, that would have been easiest. We don't do things easy around.
This is what Sri Rangam.
This is Sri Rangam. Everyone take out your phone.
Take out your phone.
It's emoji game. But you have to create.
Wait, what is the game?
I'll explain. Everyone here? Everyone from your group? Alright, Haribol, everyone. Can everyone guess what this is in Sri Rangam?
No way.
Three Murti.
I said
Anyways, this is Three Murti. You will be creating words related to Sri Rangam and emojis that describe the word. Everyone having fun? Alright, you'll have 1 minute to do this. It's easiest to send these emojis in your groups, like Sangha groups, so that I can see it clearly. Whoever has more emojis, or like more words that describe correctly, will win the game.
Correctly, there's a way to match this.
Emojis that are an emoji that describes. You're gonna give us words. No. You also come up with Sri Rangam. You come up with the game essentially. Is everyone good? Understood? You will come up with things like this, Three Murti, on your own. You have 1
We have to
minute.
match it with like yours. With theirs, right? We have to match it.
Yes, it has to be related to Sri Rangam.
Wait, we have to come up with our own
Write
words?
the word and write the emojis
Yeah,
that
yeah.
describe the
That I
word.
did not.
Or pastime or whatever. 3, 2, 1, start. Okay, write it on yourself. Color. As many as you want. As many as you want. This is the last round after this round. How overtime?
That was fun. It was good.
20 seconds left.
What else, guys? Oh, that one.
10 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Time is up. No more sending in the group chat. That's crazy. All right.
Wait, that would be did not do very much.
Let's see how much you guys do. Peter Valerie, explain it. Oh, I see. You know what? Alright. No, it's because moving forward. Okay, you know what? We'll remove that. Can you explain how this directly connects to Mahaprabhu? 1, 3. What is it?
Tree, and then it's a rung, and then an M.
No, mine is green with right, and then rung means color.
I like yours. Okay, what is this?
It's supposed to be Sri Rangam.
Yeah.
We have 3. This is
Yeah, you have to.
this is a mridanga.
Okay, explain how this is Sri Rangam.
They play in Mridangas.
No. This is Sri Rangam. This is also Sri Rangam. This is a mridanga. This is Chaturanga.
Oh, it's just Madanga.
Yeah,
Yeah. Mahaprabhu played the Mridanga.
it's a mridanga.
It's a Mridanga.
Mahaprabhu played the Mridanga.
That's so awkward. What is this one?
Wrong one. Okay. And that's Sriram. You get 3. No. That's 4. We have 2. The Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doesn't make sense. Why? No. You don't know best. Oh, this one. Okay, this one.
It's the same.
That's a different phone here. It's the same emoji.
What are you talking about?
It's the same.
It's the same thing.
So do we get 4 or 3?
We got 4. Wait, what?
I have like 7.
What do you like?
It was like 30 seconds.
No.
I feel like there should be more time.
I don't think that would have done the lion and the Viking.
No, but then we'd have more time to
We can think of more things related. That's sleeping fish.
I thought the emoji was like, I have to spell out. I remember saffron. Here's more. 4 more. You already won.
That's crazy.
Haribol, everyone. The round has ended, and all the teams have ended. Thank you very much for playing. Hare Krishna. Oh, yes.
Please allow us 1 minute to tabulate the scores and announce a winner. Thank you for playing. Yeah.
They both said that.
Yeah, both said that. This team won in general, even without the paradoxical thing. Okay.
No, great. What do you mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like a little 10-minute skit now. Drama.
Okay. He just stepped out to chant Gayatri.
Okay.
Get with your group and then make the.
All Sangha leaders, please come up to the stage next to Dameshwar Mahaprabhu.
Sangha leader?
Sangha leaders, please come up. Yeah, we can do it like this. No. Oh, I forgot.
How many games?
So at my team,
No,
What's your message?
Chant Hare Krishna.
Now to swim.
Whoa, what group is going up?
He's bugging. Sounds like Rob Revenue.
Harmonica's like a different thing.
For our presentation. Robin, stay up. Which one? Which Sunday group are you?
Hare Krishna, we have tabulated the scores and we have a clear first place. Shh. If you can hear me, please say shh. Okay, there you go. We have a clear first place winner and we have a tie for second place. That is the second and third place. We'll start with the second and third tie. All right, Haribol. So, in second and third place, we have both Parth and Dian's group. Which group numbers are you guys? So that's group 1 and group 10, the two ends of our Sangha. Wonderful. And for first place, for the entire tour of South India up till this point, we have Radhe's Sangha group. Thank you for playing. We hope this was fun, and we look forward to the drama that comes next.
Let's give this group a big round of applause. Everybody can take a seat, please.
2 and 4? Yeah.
Hare Krishna, if you are in group 2 or 4, please come up for your next presentation. 2 and 4.
We're 2 and 4. Madurai's group language.
Please sit down.
Right there.
What is your presentation about?
A presentation. Do you want to introduce it?
Hare Krishna, everybody. If you could hear me, please say. Thank you very much. Today, groups 2 and 4 are having a joint collaboration to present to you the pastimes at Sri Kurma Kshetra, which we will be basing off the pastime written in the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and adding a little creative element to it. I hope you all enjoy. Thank you very much. We take you to the 1500s, where, in Europe, the Renaissance is happening. In America, Christopher Columbus has arrived. But we take you to South India, to a small town in the district of Srikakulam named Sri Kurma Kshetra, where we have our friend, the Kurma Brahmana. And his nice family. The Kurma Brahmana's family generally supported his spiritual life, but life was not always perfect at home.
Oh dear husband, how do I look today?
Yes, very nice.
What do you mean very nice? I want beautiful, enchanting, gorgeous.
Hare Krishna.
Men can be so useless sometimes.
Anna, can you please play with me, please?
Just now coming. Hare Krishna. How much longer will the Kurma Brahmana be able to tolerate his material life? One day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arrived in Sri Kurma Kshetra. He worshipped the Kurma deity, and then he chanted Harinam in the streets. Seeing this, but please, I have something to tell you. Please go and cook the best possible preparations so that we can give to this great saint, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Yes, right away.
Kids, Set up the dining area. And get the chair. Okay, that's good. Welcome to Kurma Kshetra. Please come inside so we can serve you some prasadam. After the Kurma Brahmana invited Mahaprabhu to his house, he and his family washed the feet of Mahaprabhu and they drank the remnants from it. After this, they started offering him prasad. The Kurma Brahmana very lovingly offered it to Mahaprabhu.
You please join me.
And much time passed as the Kurma Brahmana and Mahaprabhu discussed nice Krishna Katha until
Thank you so much for your hospitality. I must get going now.
No, I cannot go. Please take me with you. I want to get out of this material life.
No, you must never say such things. Instead, you follow these two principles. 1, chant Hare Krishna. 2, teach it to others. Come, I will show you.
Instruct everyone to follow the orders of Lord Sri Krishna as they are given in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. In this way, become a spiritual master and try to liberate everyone in this land.
Meanwhile, in downtown Kurma Kshetra, that technique is so good. Where did you get it from?
One of my pure devotees practices this method. Kurma Brahmana, wait! You must continue practicing Chaitra for as long as you can.
Haribol.
After instructing Kurma Brahman, Mahaprabhu left Kurma Kshetra. On his way out of the area, a local townsperson informs Mahaprabhu of Vasudev Brahman.
My lord, there's a devotee here. He lives outside the village. He's Vasudev. His body is afflicted with leprosy. Worms fall from his wounds, yet he picks them up and places them back where they originally were. Please, save him, dear Lord.
One night, Vasudev heard of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's arrival, and in the morning, he came to see the Lord at the house of Kurma.
I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has left.
My dear Vasudev.
Mahaprabhu.
Please bless me with your mercy, Mahaprabhu. I really need it. Actually, on second thought, I'm so fallen, I don't deserve it. Ignore my request, please.
You're my pure devotee. Of course you deserve my mercy.
Well, if you insist.
By the Lord's mercy, Vasudev's body became as radiant as gold.
My lord, my body is...
A miracle!
He said, "Who am I, a sinful, poor friend of a Brahmin? And who is Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, full in 6 opulences? Nonetheless, he has embraced me with his 2 arms."
My body is so beautiful. But if I become proud,
If you continue chanting the holy names as sincerely as you do, you will never become proud.
After delivering his devotees, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prepared to continue his journey. One who hears these pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with great faith will very surely attain the lotus feet of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
everyone. This was groups 2 and 4. Very well.
No, not that one.
Dharanamamicham Pavicham Chasanam Kuru. There's not a songbook in there, is there? Nadia Nagare Nitai Neche Neche Gaire. Nadia Nagare Nitai Neche Neche Gaire. 1 of 4. Nadia Nagare Nitai Neche Neche Gaire. Thank you. A little higher. Nariya Nagare Nitai Neche Neche Gaire. Jagannath Sutta Mahaprabhu Vishwambar Mayapura Shashi Navadipa Sudakar Bhakta Namananda Chapala Balaka Matripakta 1 of 4. Ramananda Balana Tarki Katu Kanura Nadia Nagare Nitai Neche Neche Gaire. Nadia Nagare Nitai Neche Vijajitu Dipachar Vayer Mohan Chartika Sarvasya Gramya Bali Kakila Lakshmi Prati Bodha Data Udata Balaka Shri Shachirapati Putra Shokani Vara Lakshmi Pati Purvaresha Sarva Klesha Vijay Darpahari Vishnu Priyas Nadia Nagare Nitai Neche Neche Gaire. Nadia Nagare Nitai Neche Neche Arya Dharma Pala Pitra Gaya Pinda Data Pudi Shishya Madhvacharya Sampradaya Pata Krishna Namu Mata Krishna Tapadya Paka Nam Sankirtan Yuga Dharma Prabhata Advaita Bandhava Srinivas Hadana Nityananda Pranagara Tera Rajivan Nadia Nagare Nitai Neche Neche Gaire. Nadia Nagare Nitai Neche Neche Adadip Shashar Jai Udrumani Hari Madhya Dipari Dashrai Kuladipa Pati Ritu Dipa Maheshwar Janu Modazu Marudu Tera Ishvara Navakanda Ranganata Jana Vijivana Jagai Manai Adi Durvitakara Narayana Kare Nitan Niche Niche Narayana Kare Simha Kaji Udara Shuddha Nama Pracharaka Bhakta Tikara Narayani Kripa Sindhu Chiverani Anta Adama Paduya Dandi Bhakta Doshahanta Shri Krishna Chaitanya Chandra Paratitharana Parivraj Shiramani Vikalapala Narayana Gari Nitani Cheni Cheni Narayana Gari Nitani Cheni Ambulinga Vilanisha Kupatesha Pati Kirchor Gopal Dashana Sukiyati Nirdandi Sanyasi Sarvabhoma Kipamor Swananda Aswanandi Sarva Sukashor Purata Sindara Vasudeva Tranakarta Ramananda Sakabhakta Kila Klesha Narayana Kare Nitani Cheni Cheni Narayana Kare Nitani Cheni Cheni Goda Jain Mayavadi Kutarka Kundan Dakshina Prabhavam Bhakti Dharani Alana Darshanandi Rathaganartaka Gajapati Sana Devananda Udarata Priya Prakashe Dushta Padurya Rachana Upasana Tana Bandhu Sarva Jiva Narayana Kare Nitani Cheni Cheni Narayana Kare Nitani Cheni Vrindavana Nanda Murti Pala Bhadra Sangi Yavana Udari Bhata Bala Vedarangi Kashi Vasi Sanyasi Udari Prema Data Makata Vairagi Dandi Achanda Vichata Bhaktera Gaura Bhaktari Bhakta Pranadana Haridas Raghunath Swarupa Jiva Narayana Kare Nitani Cheni Cheni Narayana Kare Nitani Cheni Cheni Pakati Vino Tar Pore Ranga Paya Narayana Kare Nitani Cheni Cheni Narayana Kare Nitani Cheni Jai Gaura Nitai Gaura Nitai Gaura Nitai Jai Gaura Nitai Nitai Gaur Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Nitai Gaura Hari Bo It was really fun watching the activities. It's fantastic. And so inventive and edifying also. Being able to go back the first game and seeing what we did before visiting the various places. And then the play was fantastic. Really good. Nicely done, everybody. Really beautiful. I first offer my respectful obeisances to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and to Lord Krishna, who speaks the Bhagavad Gita and encourages us to cultivate the highest qualities that are natural for the soul. And although it is mentioned in the Shastra that by performing devotional service, one naturally develops qualities of the Devas, we may note that Srila Prabhupada gave multiple instructions about ways to be clean, for example, to interact with other devotees in such a way that we didn't make offenses. For instance, did you know that he taught us if you ever have an argument, you should come back and talk and then offer obeisances to one another, even if you agree to disagree. But to speak of how Krishna mentions at the end of the 12th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, the qualities that he most admires in his devotees. And Kaviraj Goswami includes that same section from the Bhagavad Gita at the end of the 12th chapter, at the end of the Madhya Lila, as a reminder to us how to attract Krishna. So, as we're taking some time near the close of our yatra, I thought it'd be appropriate, especially on New Year's Eve, to talk about ways to start the new year with some determination and some clear goals. And first, I'll mention the concept of determination. In order to be determined, we have to make a specific, strong decision. The definition of a decision is a conclusion or resolution reached after consideration. And the word decide comes from Latin, decidere, and it comes from de, from off, and cadere, to cut. It means to cut off the stuff that doesn't matter and be left with what's most important. Don't major in minor things. Find out what's most important and give your attention, because life is short and we can't do everything. But at least we can prioritize and do the most important things. In the Gita, Krishna says, Nirmana mohajita sangha dosha. He talks about ways in which to reform our interaction with the world and the way we think about ourselves and others. Nirman means be very curious and open and humble. Don't be the know-it-all. And try to conquer illusion, he says. Moha jita, conquer illusion. And sangha dosha, he says, give up the fault of bad association. These are very specific suggestions by Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita about ways that we can improve ourselves. Improvement means we'll be happier. Making a decision, as we just heard, requires consideration. Or a similar word, deliberation, one of my favorite words. Deliberate, everyone say it. You'll notice in it is the word Libra. Any Libras in here? So, I'm a Libra too. It's got the pan scales. You weigh things out. I weigh them out too much sometimes, trying to balance everything. But the fact is, it's important to weigh the consequences. So deliberation means thorough consideration. Consider a matter thoroughly. It's part of what humans are capable of doing is thinking about what the goal of life is. How many times have I quoted this now? For 50 points. Siddhanta bolya chitanakara alash iha hoite Krishna lokai sudrit manash. That when you take time to deliberate on the ultimate goal of life, how to achieve it, how to receive that knowledge, from whom to receive it, you can come to a very determined decision in life. Awareness of consequences. This is another aspect of deliberation. So you consider consequences, which is a human superpower. We can discern causality. If you engage a cat with a stick and a piece of string, it'll chase it around all day long and never come to a conclusion that there's no bird at the end. And it won't be able to understand how the stick is being manipulated by the human. Of course, a dog, you might throw something and the dog knows you threw it and bring it back. Dogs apparently have more sense. And if you're a cat person, I'm not trying to make an offense. But human beings are infinitely more intelligent. They can trace out causation. And therefore, taking time to think about consequences for what we do is highly effective in deciding how to engage ourselves. Another meaning from the dictionary of consideration is slow, steady, and allowing time to mature. These are elements of consideration. Slow, steady, and allowing time to mature. Also, they're very deliberate practices. I'll go into that later. So, in becoming determined to improve oneself, and that's the overarching point that I'm making in this introduction to what I'm going to talk about, which is setting goals for the new year, is that you should have an emotional reason why you're doing it. You should be driven. And my favorite banner that I used to see when I drive by a place called Weight Watchers, which was in downtown San Mateo. And I drive past it and I could see in their meeting room, it said, "You gotta wanna." You gotta wanna. It's inspiring those who came there for a purpose to lose weight. It's got to come from you. You have to really want it. And another emotional attitude is assuming that you can be successful. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, every soul can rise in due course of time. Nobody is permanently disqualified. It's illegal, in fact, to say that all these instructions may work for other people, but it won't work for me. In fact, Vyasadeva himself writes in the Vedanta Sutra that you should assume that you can make advancement, and here's why. He says, because the Shastra gives instructions about how to make advancement. And who is the Shastra speaking to? And therefore, you should know that he assumes that you can make advancement, or it's true that you can make an advancement, and it would be illogical to say, I can't make advancement since the Shastra tells you to make advancement. You should assume that you can. So there's a few instructions that Prabhupada gives about how to situate yourself for success. The first one is to work from your natural strength. And he writes the following in the 8th canto, 2nd chapter, 30th verse, for those who are keeping score. Quote, thereafter, because of being pulled into the water and fighting for many long years, the elephant became diminished in his mental, physical, and sensual strength. The crocodile, on the contrary, being an animal of the water, increased in enthusiasm, physical strength, and sensual power. Purport excerpt. The soldiers in this Krishna consciousness movement must always possess physical strength, enthusiasm, and sensual power. To keep themselves fit, they must therefore place themselves in a normal condition of life. What constitutes a normal condition will not be the same for everyone, and therefore there are divisions of varnashrama, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas. Harisari wrote a book called The Transcendental Diary, and he gave a listing of priorities that Prabhupada had himself written. There are 4 on the list. Would you like to hear? Yes. Health, sadhana, service, and reading, in that order. And to the point of keeping oneself in a normal condition of life. From Satsvarup Maharaj's memoirs, or memoir, but he wrote several. He describes, and I remember this, how he had gotten a mobile home in order to travel around and go to various temples. It was a very nice mobile home, and around that time, which was circa, if I were to guess, 1976, devotees felt guilty about having anything nice. Therefore, you missed an era when there was nothing nice. Cars were all wrecks and not taken care of very well. And he had gotten a very nice mobile home. He felt guilty about it. He told Prabhupada about his mobile home, and Prabhupada said, approving of his purchase and of using the vehicle, Prabhupada wrote, keep yourself comfortable so that you can serve nicely. Number 2 is choose deliberate practice over luck. Success doesn't happen by chance. It's a recipe. If you follow the right recipe, you'll not only feel confident, following in the footsteps of previous actors, in this analogy, cooks, you'll be able to bring forth well-ordered processes in your life and satisfactory outcomes. Here's what the definition of luck is. Success or failure apparently brought by chance rather than through one's own actions. And I'm going to read an excerpt from Prabhupada's conversation with one of his senior leaders at the time, Atreya Rishi, from Iran, by the way. Atreya Rishi, how many qualifications does a spiritual master have in terms of being a spiritual master? Prabhupada, 1 qualification. He is a devotee of God, that's all. Atreya Rishi, also he is designated? Prabhupada, Atreya Rishi, does he have to be designated by the former spiritual master? He has to be devotee. Prabhupada, oh yes. Atreya Rishi, surrendered and designated, that is, identifies disciplic succession, both surrender and designation. Prabhupada, and by the result. Atreya Rishi, and the result of activity. Some of that's a little hard to decipher, but it gets clearer. Prabhupada, so far designation is concerned, the spiritual master authorizes every one of his disciples, but it is up to the disciple to carry out the order. Is he or she able to carry it out or not? It is not that the spiritual master is partial. Spiritual master designates one and rejects another. He may do that. If the other is not qualified, he can do that, but actually his intention is not like that. He wants that each and every one of his disciples become as powerful as he is, or more than that. That is his desire. Just like a father wants every son to be as qualified or more qualified than the father. But it is up to the student or the son to raise himself to that standard. Atreya Rishi, yes, I understand. Prabhupada, if you are incapable of raising yourself to the standard of becoming a spiritual master, that is not your spiritual master's fault. That is your fault. He wants, just like Lord Chaitanya said, Amara Agyaya Guru Ha. Hai. By my order, every one of you become a guru. Now, if you cannot carry out the order of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then how can you become a guru? The first qualification is you must be able to carry out the order of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then he becomes guru. So that carrying out the order of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu depends on one's personal capacity. Amara Agnaya Guru Hana. Acceptance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Krishna, that is there in Shastra, in the Upanishads, in Mahabharata, in the Bhagavata. Another devotee asked Prabhupada, how can we increase our personal capacity to preach? Prabhupada said, by preaching. If you preach, then you'll meet with so many obstacles, and you'll have to prepare yourself how to meet the obstacles, then you become a strong preacher. Resistance, he said. I emboldened the words, prepare yourself, and that's the point. It's not that we join an institution and just because we're under the umbrella of the institution, or just because you have a spiritual master, doesn't mean you'll automatically make advancement. You have to prepare yourself. You have to take advantage of the instructions that Krishna gives, spiritual master gives, and step by step improve yourself. 3, this is about how to be determined. Avoid distractions. This is especially important nowadays because there are more distractions in the current age than at any other time. Distraction is a thing that prevents someone from giving full attention to something else. Definition of distraction. And one of the tricks, or practices rather, that you can employ as we get ready for the new year, and I'll talk about this in a minute, and we'll take some time to write some things, is to identify anything that you think is holding you back. It's highly liberating because oftentimes things that distract us or hold us back from doing what we really wish we were doing. Or let me ask a question. Have you ever been in a situation where you knew what you should be doing, but you're doing something else and wishing you were doing the right thing? Please say yes. Real happiness comes to those who are able to control their senses and do the right thing and know that they're doing the right thing very deliberately. Getting into a zone where you've cut out distractions. So identifying your key restraints, that is, make a list of all the things that you think are setting you back. And just by listing them, I'm not saying do it right now, but put that category down, we'll come back to it. But if you start making a note, a log of things that distract you or hold you back from doing what you wish you could be doing, just by the light of awareness, they start to evaporate. Next is narrow your choices. When you concentrate all your thoughts on the task at hand, it's like a sun ray. My brother and I, when we got magnifying glasses when we were kids, we used to try to light things on fire, and we were successful. It was like magic, some power we had, because we took the magnifying glass and we'd hold it in one place long enough, and then we'd see smoke, and then we'd see the fire would come. So in a similar way, when we're able to narrow our choices or fully concentrate on the task at hand, this is what Krishna says, what Shukadev says, rather, when he says, Tivrena Bhakti Yogina. You should practice bhakti with focus. The magnifying glass is concave. It takes the light, pulls it to one point, focuses it, so it hits in one place. This is Tivrena Bhakti. It's like a ray of light hitting a concave surface. It's designed so that it goes to one place and stays there. So identify what distracts you and then make commitments to avoiding it. It means we're going to write in a little while a not to do list. Have you ever made a to do list? Tonight we're going to start writing a not to do list. And once you write it, and you'll notice that you may notice that you're addicted to a certain habit pattern. And when you start to do that, your list will come to your mind. And at least you'll be conscious that this is on my not to do list. Otherwise, you can go on forever doing something that's non-productive and never give it another thought. Or you do give it another thought, but it creates cognitive dissonance, which means you feel uneasy. Another way to narrow your choices is to write your plans. There's a great book I read, and I highly recommend it. It's by Guy Kawasaki. He was one of the founders of the Apple Corporation. And he wrote a book called Art of the Start. Excellent book. One of the points he makes in his book is that you should frame who you are and what you're doing. And then he gives this phrase, frame or be framed. If you don't have your own plan, somebody's going to give you their plan, and you're going to have to follow it. Because we're followers, and unless we follow the right master and the right plan, then we're going to follow somebody else. You know the verse, Kama dinam katina katita palita durnideshas tesham jatamayina karuna natrapa no pashanti. Prabhupada quotes this frequently. It's about how the senses and the urges of the senses are like bad masters. And the devotee laments, saying, how long have I followed them without questioning? No more, he said, no mas, that's it. Now I'm going to follow Krishna instead. So if you write your plans, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. The next one is number 5, which is strengthen the bonds that free you. Doesn't that sound paradoxical? Strengthen the bonds that free you. The spirit of this is in the Bhagavad Gita. Raga dvesha vimuktaisthu vishayan indrayaischaran amavashera bhate atma prasadam arigachati. Interestingly, Krishna says, by following the regulative principles of freedom, you'll receive the grace of the Lord. It descends to those who are able to follow the regulative principles of freedom, controlling their senses. 4 regulative principles. They cover a huge area of activity for everybody who's not committed to becoming free. And controlling the tongue, which is the gateway sense, it's the sense that leads to all the other senses. Did you know that the Srimad Bhagavatam says, if you control your tongue, then you can understand that all the other senses in your body are controlled. And if you can't control your tongue, conversely, you can understand that your other senses are also not controlled. Who can quote a verse from the Padma Purana that gives us some idea about that?
KG for those Swayamevas Puratyada. Which means that by engaging the tongue and controlling it by chanting the holy name and eating prasadam, you will be able to understand the Lord's names, forms, qualities, pastimes.
Yeah, and it says remarkably that yoga begins with the tongue, doing seva with your tongue. Jihva means the tongue, adao means the beginning, seva adao. So when you use your tongue in service, then you can think of it as the rudder that directs you in the and it can determine which way you're going in your life. Number 6 is compose and draft your personal constitution. Has anybody here been to Washington, D.C.? Have you ever seen the Constitution of the United States? It's in the Library of Congress. We went to see it. And right near it is the Magna Carta. Who knows what the Magna Carta is? It's a piece of paper. But on it, very consequentially, people came together and they decided what they wanted and they wrote it down. The Constitution followed in the same vein. And it's the original document, it's posted on the wall. And because, as they're called, the founders wrote things down, they considered them very carefully, they wrote them down, created a framework, whether it's a laudable system or not. I'm not claiming either way. So much that could be debated about that. But the point is, it created a system that's held together for over 250 years. And in a similar way, we can write our own constitution. It's not that complicated. We just have to decide what we want and what our values are, what our priorities are, what our goals are, and write them down. And that's what we'll start doing tonight. Priorities, values, and goals. 3 things I highly recommend that you can do by yourself with the power of introspection, self-reflection, thinking about your life, what you want, where you're going, where you've been. For instance, writing your priorities. If you just think about it right now, you don't have to raise your hand or say anything, but if you were to think about what your top 3 priorities in life are right now, could you think of something, your top 3, that you'd be willing to commit to paper? And do you think maybe in the morning you might want to switch the position of one with another? It's possible, right? If you take some time to write down what's most important to you and think in large terms, in big terms, that is, for instance, think of Bhagavatam. How does it start? Essentially, it starts with Parikshit Maharaj asking, how should I prepare for death? And that's a really good subject matter for people to take home and talk with their family about over the holidays, when all the relatives come. And everyone wants a subject matter to talk about. Movies, of course you're all devotees, but people come together and they chatter or talk about so many things. You can say, let's talk about how to prepare for death. And you might get some interesting reactions. But if we ask ourselves, how prepared are we, for instance, that might be near the top, right? Like, what would it take to be prepared to leave this body in full consciousness, etc. Did anybody have any others that came to their mind that would be near the top of the list? I said I wasn't going to ask for any, but I just did. Granchar.
Bridging off of that, the quality of our own personal sadhana, so that beyond just transcending death, we can also attain love for Krishna.
And isn't that nice that as human beings we have free choice to write that at the top of our page if we wish to? That's liberating. If you're a beaver, I saw a YouTube video about somebody who kept a beaver as a pet. And as soon as they invited it into the house and they went for a drive to get an ice cream cone, they came back and the beaver had chewed the legs off the couch and started to make a dam in the house, because that's what beavers do. And they wouldn't understand through an extensive conversation that this is our house, please don't tear it apart. But human beings can think about what's most important, high-minded types of goals and priorities. Goals is something I'm going to talk about in just a minute, and values. When we start looking at values, there are various lists. For instance, in the Bhagavad Gita, the divine and demoniac natures. If you peruse that list, you'll find a veritable candy shop in which you'll feel like the proverbial kid in a candy shop where you think, ooh, that's nice, I wish I had that. There are qualities listed about those who are pure devotees, and these are their qualities. They're qualities that Krishna has. If you think about values like truthfulness, what if you, for 2026, you picked that value and you said, I'm going to be avowedly truthful. That will be my sadhana through 2026, to be truthful. Would your life change in any discernible way, do you think, if you, I'm not saying you should do this, although you should, but if you were to write that now and commit to it, how do you think that you would notice it? Do you think that it would become a practice for you? Do you think that it would change your interactions with others and with yourself in any discernible way? Shikar, in what ways were you thinking that it might change the way you interact with others and with yourself?
By being truthful, I will establish trust in more relationships. I will be happier in more of my relationships with other devotees, friends. And that will conduce a sort of sattvic nature in which would enable me to perform my Krishna consciousness even more peacefully and even more effectively, lovingly.
What a thoughtful answer. Have you read the Yoga Sutras by Patanjali Muni? There's a section in the Yoga Sutras by Patanjali Muni where he talks about how yogis develop mystic powers. Krishna talks about this too, by the way, in the Bhagavatam 11th canto. One of the mystic powers is whatever you say will manifest. And it's achieved by those who are avowedly truthful. Not only that, you would notice, he says, that people trust whatever you say because they know you're avowedly truthful. Can you think of somebody in the Bhagavatam who had that quality and who was therefore trusted? Very good. Right away you got it. And if you, what's another, let's just think of two more values. Truth is a value. What's another one? Abhay had his hand up.
Simplicity.
Simplicity. Can you think of ways you would personally apply it if you were to put that, let's say you wrote it down as your main focus for 2026, to simplify, what would you think of?
One of my questions I was going to ask a few lectures ago was, what is simplicity and how to practically apply it?
Well, one thing is to be straightforward. For instance, simple devotee isn't trying to hide anything. I remember Gaur Govinda Maharaj once in a lecture. He used to scare the bejeepers out of everybody. I once was in a lecture in San Francisco and he was speaking. He really started screaming at somebody in the audience. And I was like, who didn't even ask a question, I don't think. In any case, he once said something along the lines of, if you have a question, you're afraid to ask it in class because people will think that you're not as intelligent as you'd hoped they'd all think you are. He said, then you're a rascal. You're not simple. A simple devotee would ask the question even if he or she thought this will make me seem slightly uninformed on certain subject matters. Simple devotees also fall into the category where Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, when Krishna is talking about qualities of a self-realized person, says, the Stita Deer Muni. How does that verse start? Dukeshu Vikataspriha. What's the first word? Vitaraga Bhaya Krodha. First word in the sentence. Anyway, he talks about the Stita Dir Muni. Munis generally, they try to invent new philosophies so that they're better than everybody else. But it's Stita Dir Muni, Dukeshu Anavigna Manaha, Sukeshu Vigatashriha, that's it. And so, as Prabhupada describes, the Stita Dir Muni just accepts Krishna. Of course, it's a well-reasoned path that person's come to accept Krishna as a supreme authority. It's not blind faith. But after that, the person simply accepts what Krishna says. Doesn't mean they don't discuss it to understand about more, but simplicity also means being very accepting of the path that Krishna's given without trying to contort oneself or one's intellect to come up with a different meaning, especially to present oneself as being more unique than others. This is something that can happen in spiritual circles, that somebody will, as Rupa Goswami has admonished devotees and asked them not to do, study all kinds of literatures in order to have an edge in a conversation. In other words, yes, but you don't know this Shastra. I know this Shastra, you don't know that kind of thing. And again, well, not again, but it's not to say we shouldn't be well-read and well-rounded, but generally, a simple devotee will be satisfied with straightforward teachings from Krishna and be able to represent them. Okay, yeah, one other quality, yes? Or value?
Having confidence but not pride, so you never back down from the service, I guess.
Good. Yes. The word determined has the word terminus in it. Means there's an end point. You finish what you started. You don't give it up halfway through. There are long lists of values. And when you start examining them with the idea that I could imbibe these, I could take it up as a practice, it becomes enticing. As I said before, and I was thinking about this when I was looking at all of them. You know how kids go in a candy shop and they want everything? We may feel like that also. But if you pick some, or one, and say, I'll make this my discipline, you'll notice that it's life-changing. So we talked about priorities, talked about values, and then there's goals. And goals are so highly effective. It's been said that the mind is like a heat-seeking missile. And when you set a goal, it creates this kind of heat the mind goes after. So remarkable is goal setting that many people have discovered that when they took time to write their goals, even if they weren't able to, again, look at the list of goals, that still the subconscious mind is working on them. And he might find the list later and say, oh, there's been so much serendipity in achieving these. And a lot of it is because, as Louis Pasteur once said, great discoveries come only unto the prepared mind. So we prepare our minds by making a list of our priorities, clear set of values that we'd like to work on, and setting goals. So I'll just talk a little bit about setting goals. The main practice for goal setting is as follows, according to me. Decide what you want and write it down. Period. Full stop. What is it? It's remarkable why so few people do set goals. Some people are afraid they won't be able to achieve them. Some people don't know how powerful it is. And there's a saying or a vignette about a man who's trying to chop down a tree. Don't recommend that either. And then a passerby sees him and says, your axe is dull. Just take a little time to sharpen it. And the chopper says, I don't have any time, can't do it. Ineffectual. So if we take time to set the goals, we'll notice that we become sharper in all our activities. So what Nirkula and I have been doing for many, many years, generally we take time before the new year hits. And we'd, and still do, meditate on where we've been, what we achieved in the last year. In fact, that's one of the reasons I really liked that first activity, was because you were going back over what you got. Review is so important. Oftentimes we're forward-looking. You're in kindergarten and you're thinking, when I'm going to get into first grade. And when you're in first grade, you're thinking, as soon as I'm a third grader, I'm going to rule the world. And then there's junior high school, college, then you look for the next thing. You can use a whole life looking forward, but people often don't take time to review where they've been and what they've done, how they've done. So taking it around this time of year, doesn't have to be before midnight tonight, but it's good to get a start today and keep a little book. You got this one. It could be something that you write your goals in. What I really recommend for your introspection and writing is use a pen and paper. I like a legal pad. I didn't bring one with me because I was trying to economize on weight, but legal pads are yellow, you know that? And they're longer. Regular paper is 8.5 by 11, and it's 13.5. No, 8.5, 8 by 11. It's 8.5 by 13. Gives you more space. It gives you a psychological advantage. So I recommend taking some time off, at least a few hours if you can, by yourself. Get a do not disturb sign, put it on your door, and sit with your pad and a pen. Here's my favorite pen. I prefer the Pentel RSVP. It's a little longer, because I have bigger hands. It's a BK90 fine tip Pentel. Hi, I'm Vaishesha Gadas. After a long day on Sankirtan, I use Pentel. And be sure to push that like button and subscribe. So a pen and a piece of paper is our friend. It's a great friend to us. If we take time to do this, we can transform ourselves. And we can start the year with a foundation that helps us to avoid distraction, keeps us determined, and excited. It's exciting. So a little bit more about goals. Decide what you want and write it down. There are various categories that you can set goals for. One of them is your health. Can you think of anything you might do in the next year that you would do to stay healthier than you have in the last Ranchor? Drink more water. Like pond water? Fiji water. Hi, I'm Vaishesha Gadas. Product placement. I asked him to do that. Actually, this is Vedika. Drink more water? 2 more? Yeah. Huh? Sleep early. Yeah, sleep early. There are sleep studies galore nowadays that show how important it is for your brain to clean itself out, restart. And if you don't get enough sleep, you can become chronically affected in many different ways. So getting enough sleep, and the smartest thing to do is try to sleep earlier and get up at a reasonable time. Lately, I've been taking time, first of all, going to sleep as early as possible. And then making sure I'm in a vantage point in the morning whenever possible to see the sunrise. It's also very healthy to get the sunlight on your eyes without any filter. It stimulates various hormones like melatonin that balance your circadian rhythms. And this is also an important thing when you get back from the trip. It helps you overcome the jet lag by being awake for the sunrise and just watching it. You don't have to look directly at the sun, you can look a little to the side. But usually in the morning we've noticed that it's not that hard on the eyes anyway. But so anyway, sleep is important. One more, just off the top of our heads. Yes, exercise, same. And morning walks, yeah. You get the combined benefit. Go for a morning walk, helps you to breathe air, exercise, see nature, especially if you can go to a natural area, hug a tree if you can, see some leaves on the ground, does help. Yes. And regulated eating. Diet, 80% of the challenge. Don't eat ultra-processed food, don't eat processed food, eat fresh, eat rainbow diet. Get enough of everything. Don't eat junk. Don't eat just huge stacks of carbs, and so forth. So these are things we can engineer in our lives. And contrary to advertisements that just say, everywhere along the roadside here, drink Coca-Cola. And they show some person who looks relatively stoic or handsome or beautiful, slugging back some sugar water. And the implication is that you'll enjoy, but be in the mode of goodness, eat a good diet. Okay, what other categories are there besides health? Sadhana. What kinds of things might you write down for your sadhana to make an incremental improvement? And what I recommend, as far as goals go and making improvements, is what I call the wedge principle. A wedge has a thin end and it gets progressively thicker. And when you start with some goal for improvement in your sadhana, or in your diet, or in your health regime, start with something that's simple enough, small enough that you know that you can do. That's the edge of the wedge, where you can push it in, and then if you apply yourself over time, it opens up a space, and you start making it a habit. Sadhana, just a couple quick things. What might you do for sadhana? Yes. Yeah, listening to at least 5 minutes of a lecture. What if you were set up for it right when you woke up? Something like that. And you start with something where you can handle, you say 5 minutes. You might get carried away, right? And the 5 minutes might turn into 10, and you might keep it on while you're getting ready, and you'll be edified. I know people who the first thing they do when they wake up in the morning is they turn on the lecture, they have it lined up. And this is a very important, it is a way to help yourself, is to have a regimen for waking up in the morning. So not only get up at a good hour before the sun, but also plan ahead how you're going to wake up in the morning. For instance, in our padatis, it's described how there's certain prayers you can say before you jump out of bed. The first things that I say as soon as I come to consciousness and I know I'm going to get up, I start with the Prabhupada's pranams, then I say Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, then the Hare Krishna mantra, then Jayati Janani Vasa Devaki Janmavado. This is a prayer from the 11th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. There's a lot to say about it, but I won't. And then I say a prayer that's in the padatis to Mother Bhumi that says, please forgive me for stepping on your surface. And then I put my right foot down. And then when I sit up, I say, thank you, Srila Prabhupada. And then I start in a very deliberate way. Then I make my bed. First thing. Do you all make your bed when you wake up? If not, you can put it on your list. It's highly recommended for the mode of goodness. Okay, so health, sadhana, anything else? Service. And what about relationships? There's lots you can do to improve relationships. I'll just give you one example. I've noticed that the key to relationships is attention. When you give your full attention to somebody, then they notice it right away. You could experiment with this over the next day. When you're talking to somebody or they're talking to you, try giving full attention, not 90% or even 10%, and see what happens. Okay, so categories. Now, yes? Not at all. Please go ahead. Please do.
I think that goal setting is also a category of something that has to be done regularly. Or like staying up to date with your goals and like reflecting on your goals is very important, because if you don't, then at least in my experience, you drift very fast. So when I was periods in my life where I was following goals very well, I was almost every day revisiting them, revisiting what I was doing and making sure, and like you have to set aside time for that, otherwise the machine doesn't like run properly.
Excellent advice. Okay, yeah, time frames for goals. There are various time frames. Longer time frames, if you want a longish time frame, you could say, what's your goal for the next 108 years? And you might say, well, what are you talking about? Like, it makes you think at least, where will you be in 108 years from now? Anyway, think about it. Once you write that goal down, it'll make you thoughtful. You could put down goals for 10 years. These are all just suggestions. You could put down a goal for 5 years. You could put a year goal, a goal for 1 year. How about 6 months? How about 1 month? I really like 30-day goals because it's a short enough time so you can see the end of it, so it's not too intimidating. But if you can stick it out for 30 days, it gives you a chance to change your habit patterns in your life for 30 days. And how about a 1-day goal? If you write down what your goal for the day is in the morning, you're going to be more directed. You'll have that Tivrena effect. What about a goal for an hour? Up in my room upstairs, I have a countdown timer that I carry with me everywhere. I have one at home, one in my suitcase. And I use it all the time to get going. And sometimes I don't feel like going. So what I do is I set myself a 5-minute goal. And I just turn it to 5 minutes and say, okay, see what you can do in 5 minutes. That's all I ask of you. And once I take that challenge, then I can start moving in a sanguine direction and get momentum. So different time frames that you can create for yourself. So let's take a little time. Just, I want you to think about, can somebody pull me a list of values? You can look at one. Bernice Brown has one on her website, I think. It has a list. You can also pull up something from Bhagavad Gita, just to give you a sampling, and you can think about it for a few minutes and write some things down. I'm going to read you a few. Are you ready? Yes. Accountability, adaptability, altruism, authenticity, balance, collaboration, compassion, courage, curiosity, fairness, forgiveness, generosity, gratitude. There's many more on here. How do those strike you? Do you like them or not?
Yes.
Kid in a candy shop, right? What else you got? Another list? Yeah, Bhagavad Gita. Can I see it? Thank you. Krishna says, one who is not envious, but is a kind friend to all living entities, who does not think himself a proprietor and is free from false ego, who is equal in both happiness and distress, who's tolerant, always satisfied, self-controlled, and engaged in devotional service with determination, his mind and intelligence fixed on me, such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. Okay, thank you. Just a quick practice. Please take 3 minutes to write down 3 values. You don't have to keep them. Just see what it feels like to write down 3 values that you admire and you'd like to see more of in yourself. Does that make sense? I'll count down to 3 minutes for you. On your mark, get set, go. You don't have to keep these, but just see what it feels like to write down 3. And you have 1 minute left. Okay, may I ask how that felt? What does this mean exactly? What was your visceral reaction to writing them down? Tell the thought process, anything you thought, besides the emoji.
I thought it was really nice to kind of take a step back and look at qualities that I already had and qualities that I would like to improve, and look at a larger picture rather than something in the moment. And I think I was able to learn a lot about what I want exactly, because I feel like that sometimes is always difficult to ascertain. So
that's helpful, thank you. What else?
I feel like it really forced me to think, and a lot of the things I was thinking about I couldn't figure out words for, and I was struggling to quantifiably describe what it is I value, so therefore I was engaged deeply, and I wish I had more time.
Good, that's what I was hoping for. This is a primer. It's priming the pump. So yes, Shastra Sarproda.
I wanted to say it was really like a kid in the candy shop. It was kind of like, I really like the analogy, just because it not only like it's when you have none of the candy, it's like the whole world's available for you, and it's nice to have this analogy to be a reminder that I actually can cultivate these qualities and be an actual repository of these qualities that I see in ideal individuals.
Just thinking about it is exciting, isn't it? The what if, what's the possibilities of actually being like this? Did anybody find it intimidating at all? Yeah, tell us.
I was pretty intimidated because there was a lot to choose from, but I was also worried that if I chose one, I wasn't exactly sure how I would go about like approaching that. So I was a little confused, but I think what helped me was looking at people in my life that I really look up to and admire the most, and seeing the qualities in them that I appreciate and something that I'd like to inculcate in myself.
This is a very important point, because until we commit to it and actually examine it, remember I said assume it can be done, that's when the energy starts to move. When you commit to it and you say, at least contemplate it, say, this is what I'm going to keep. Once you do, your life's going to change, because you're going to notice that this is your standard. And you'll start noticing in other people. And you might even find mentorship elsewhere and say, how did you become like this? And you'll see it more in the Shastra also. And then you'll also start praying for it. And you also start catching yourself. For instance, if you put honesty, you'll start noticing more that, okay, am I going to be honest right now, or is it expedient for me to not tell the truth right now? Or do I embellish things? And if so, why am I embellishing? Why can't I just be simple and be myself and be honest and straightforward and just be who I am? Why do I have to wear a mask and so forth? It brings these things up. So it's very, very stimulating in that way. Okay, so next one, we're going to try an experiment of writing over the next 3 minutes. And I know it's not much time, but this is just to get you started. Your top 3 priorities in life. Top 3 priorities. You've got 3 minutes. Overall, for your whole life. Yes? You can number them, or you can just put them in a hierarchy. And you don't have to keep it. It's just see what it feels like. You might put something at the top, like I said earlier, overnight you think about it, you wake up in the morning and say, no, I'm moving that one up. Or you might take one off your list and put something else in. What are your top 3 priorities? And I recommend coming up with 10 or 15 later and working with them. Okay, so just for now, just to see what it feels like, put top 3 priorities in your life. And yes, for your whole life. you might find that these overlap in some places. And that can be also helpful. You might see a convergence of ideas, and it helps you to triangulate and come to an idea. This is what I'm really about. That's what the Constitution is for. When you have that clearly in mind and you can articulate it well, then you save yourself from being framed by others. Frame your own Constitution, what your life's about, what are your priorities, what are your goals, what are your values that you'll keep no matter what. And then the assault from your mind, from others, from bad association, and so forth will be ineffectual on you. Okay, so how did it feel to write your priorities? Yes. Yes, you may.
As I was writing,
Many of you wrote on your list to drink more water, so I'm sorry. Me too. Let's take a water break. Get our goals going right now. See how fast it works? It waits over here. Hi, Pro, did you need one? Okay, so how did it feel writing priorities? Oh, you're going to ask a question. Yeah.
as I was writing these priorities, Maharaj, I had a question. It's something you briefly mentioned. I'm in a situation often when I know something is right. It's a priority, theoretically. Like, I know it's right. However, day to day, I find myself lacking the strength or the taste to fulfill that priority. How can I overcome this weak-heartedness?
By writing it down. Because writing something down, let me just emphasize something for you. You thought I was being glib talking about my pen, but this is a magic wand. This is how you manifest what you want in your life. Because desires, ideas, they come from us. They start, according to Srimad Bhagavatam, at the chakra that's right at the base of the spine. And they move from one energy center or chakra to the next until they come to the voice box. And then we speak them. And then they start to manifest. Because everything in the world, including the universe itself, starts in a subtle form and then it grossifies. That term was first used in the 1800s in Scientific American. Grossification means something subtle and it becomes grosser and more tangible. So using this, taking your wish list and turning it into something that is a constitution that guides your life. As soon as you write it down and you put it at the top, it comes to the forefront of your mind. And when, for instance, something comes up, like a dilemma about whether to tell the truth or not, and you put honesty, you put it at the top of your constitution, you framed it, it's there. Krishna will give you the strength because you've thought it over well, you've manifested it through your pen, and now it becomes prevalent, and the strength will come. And the first time you're able to rise above the urge to not tell the truth, and you do it because it was your priority, and you get a fruit. You'll realize that you got something out of it that you wouldn't have gotten before. And it's relishable. You start to get a taste for it. And you do it over and over again. And you'll notice how your relationship changes, your mindset changes, the way you work, the way you think about yourself changes. That's really important. Because when we're able to keep our values, maintain them, then we start to develop spiritual self-esteem, integrity. It's very powerful. Okay, so what else? How did it feel? Yes. 1, 2. 1, 2.
I found it a bit harder to write my priorities instead of my values, largely because these priorities are for life, and I feel like right now I have a different set of priorities that may not carry forward as I move on throughout my life. So it was a bit harder for me.
It's hard, and that's good. And the reason it's hard is because we often don't think of our life as a continuum. We're just trying to get through the next section. But when you're able to conceptualize it and think of your 108-year goals and think of what's most important and the end goal of life, you become more effective in the moment because you have that as your overarching driving force.
I found writing the first 3 actually pretty easy because I feel like it's something we talk at home about a lot. But at the same time, I was struggling with, or I guess if I were to write more than 3, I feel like after 5, I would really struggle to decipher the ordering of those goals. And I also had a question, or rather confusion when I was writing, which is I didn't know how specific to be, because knowing that it's a goal that's 100 years in the future, how do I compose it in a way such that it's directed, but at the same way open-ended, such that there's multiple routes to get there?
Well, that's in, like I was saying, 108-year goal. What I think a way to define priorities is what's most important to you. What things are most important to you. I'm not asking you to tell what they are. I'm just saying that that's a way to define it when you're writing about it. In your life, what are the most important aspects? And I think it's also important not to limit yourself, to write down as many as you can. You can winnow out the ones that you don't need later, or that you don't think are important, that might be distracting, and narrow your list down. But keeping aware of it, I would just say expanding the list in the beginning of the year to see how many priorities you might have can be really helpful, and you can move them around. When I took a good amount of time to do this during the pandemic, and Nirikula and I were going for walks every day, I was constantly thinking about it. And we'd discuss it. I'd say, I have this as number 3, what do you think? And this one's at 5. And you'll play with it a lot and think about it a lot when you start working on it. There was one more? Somebody else? Yes.
Hare Krishna. I also had a question about priorities. When we're writing these priorities, when they're changing also, is there also it's meant to be for lifelong, but can we also do it with time constraints too? Because right now...
Do it with what?
With time constraints.
Type insurance?
Time.
Priority for a specific amount of time constraints.
Yes. I would say priorities is more of a general category, and then you can bring that into action in your goals. And for instance, if you say, as your priorities, a priority is to develop love for Krishna. I would like to reach Nishta. Or, as I'll talk about in just a minute, and it'll be a New York minute because we're almost done. We have to take rest. But writing goals in the present tense is very helpful, as if you've already achieved it. In any case, it's good to have it more general when you're talking about priority, and then you can use your goals to assist you in achieving your priorities. For instance, if you want to attain Nishta, then you might list the goals for your sadhana that would help you to overcome all anarthas. Okay, let's move on to the very last point for tonight. It's just a primer, and that is goals. So just take a few minutes and write down 5 goals you'd like to have for the new year. Things you'd like to achieve, what would you like to do, have, see, person you want to meet. They can be small things, tiny things, they can be medium things, they can be huge things, but just write them down and don't worry about getting them right. You can sort them out over the next couple of days or more. But just start for now and write from stream of consciousness some things that are important to you that you want to achieve that you can make time bound and put into a category that you'd achieve them within a certain amount of time. So go ahead and I'll count down 3 minutes for you. And by the way, I recommend writing them in the present tense. So if you, let's say, you want to, I wake up before the sun every morning. That's present tense, like I'm already doing. Okay. You have a thought, a desire, a goal, you write it down. Now it's on paper, it's starting to already manifest because it's come from the subtle world. Now it's grossifying before your eyes, and you have something to aim for. You've put a date on it also. You'll notice in meetings, people talk about, let's do this, let's do that, and then if you want to bring the conversation to a much higher level, you just say, by what date? And do the same thing for yourself. When you write your goal down, say by what date, and you write a date on it, even a time. And then you'll notice the clock is ticking and you're starting to move forward. So tonight we talked about values, priorities, and goals. And you wrote down a few things to prime the pump, to get ready. We'll talk about it a little bit more over the next couple days. And think about it. Keep your paper open. Meditate on it. If you have other ideas, write them down. And we'll discuss more. And when you leave here, you'll have at least the start of your constitution that you can work on, clean up, and then frame it and put it on your wall Say, this is what I stand for, this is what I'll achieve this year, these are my values that I'm going to practice this year. Any reflections will take 2 minutes. Yes?
Krishna. I just had one more question. So if I'm understanding this correct, the priorities are more broad and general because they can be changed throughout the life, but then the goals are a bit more specific.
Well, anything can be changed. This is completely malleable because it's your document. And priorities can change also, but they're generally larger topics for priorities in your life. You might say a priority is the relationship with your family. And then as far as the goals go, say, I'll be more deliberate when I'm with my family and talk to them with more attention. That would be a goal. And the priority would be to be more present or to increase the quality of the relationship with my family. Does that help?
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay. 1, 2.
I find it easy to write down goals, but my biggest challenge is I find it hard to actually work on them. And it's probably the biggest thing that prevents me from actually kind of making progress on my goals. And I was wondering if you could share some tips on how to actually work on them and not feel afraid of any obstacles that might arise or procrastinating or anything
It's
else.
a big topic, and we're kind of at the very end. So make a note of that, and I'll talk about it in the next session that we have. It's a very important point. There's procrastination and there's applied procrastination, just like there's math, pure math and applied math. And I'll talk about both. Yes?
I wanted to share that when I heard that we were going to have a goal setting session, I preemptively tried thinking of goals that I wanted to set and I really struggled. But after today and going over priorities, values, and things that earlier seemed a little unrelated to goals, I was very easily able to come up with my 5. So thank you.
That's how you roll. Thank you. That's a good way to end. Okay? Almost end. Yes? I'll leave you to.
A quick question, Maharaj, is when I was writing down these goals, I found that some of them were material and some of them were spiritual, and similar to the Prabhupada disciple who felt guilty about a so-called spiritual thing. How do we look at having material and spiritual goals?
Well, let's say you have a goal to have financial stability in your life. That's not material. For instance, our pujari, Aditya, I've got something for you before you go. She has to go home because her mom's got a birthday party. And it's been such a delight having you here. Thank you very much to you and your father. A little memory from Kurmakshetra. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Have a safe journey home. Hare Krishna. We're going to miss you. I forgot what I was saying. I got all choked up. Okay, go ahead.
The question was about feeling guilty about material goals versus spiritual goals, and you were mentioning about financial independence or stability.
Oh, right. Yeah, well, so, for instance, our pujari, he said, he kept complaining to me. He said, my company pays me too much, and I barely do anything for him. I said, so, but finally he expressed, he said, I don't want to do anything else in my life except serve the deities. He has 2 kids and a wife. So I said, you got to get it all figured out financially. You have to have enough so you can put your kids through college and make sure your wife is taken care of, and he did. He took some time to put it all together. Kadambakananda Maharaj gave a class once in Mayapur, and he was talking about how when he decided he wanted to take sannyas, he was a householder, he had to go back and work for a few years so that he could take care of his wife. And so they're not mutually exclusive. Your whole life is one big offering to Krishna. And financial goals are very important, because if you don't plan ahead for finances, then I'll just categorically say that you don't have as much choice in your life. It's better to be deliberate and to plan ahead for your finances, to figure out how to do it. And it's nice because it's a very systematic thing, finances. There's magic in it, compounded interest, and dollar cost averaging, and making sure that you're paying yourself at least 10% every month out of your gross. And these types of things, if you plan ahead and you make goals for them, they become foundational in your life, and you'll see that later on because you made smart choices when you were young, then you have a lot more freedom later on to do things, to serve Krishna. And of course, anyway, without getting too philosophical, I'll just say it categorically, it's important. And all of the aspects of your life are spiritual because you're using your whole life for Krishna. Okay? Yeah, all those things. And last one from Parth.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I really liked your point about the wedge technique in terms of starting small and then working your way up. I had a question about how to apply that in terms of increasing our japa numerically in terms of how many rounds we're doing. Because from peers I've heard often that what's worked for them is increasing them in bulks of either 4 or 8 rounds. But that kind of contradicts this technique, so I was interested in any advice you have.
It doesn't necessarily contradict it, it's relative. The main point is to find out something that you can do consistently over time, because consistency is king when it comes to making progress in a discipline. What you can do over time successfully, you'll get a taste for it, you'll be able to increase it. We've taken some valuable time to plan for the new year. Keep your papers visible, look at them, meditate on them, write down some other thoughts, and we'll go over this more tomorrow and maybe even the next day a little bit in some philosophical ways, some practical ways. And now we have a word from our sponsor. Thank Divyanand Prabhu and Frindarika Ramai that they've given themselves to this yatra. It was around 5 years ago we were driving from their house in London, not London exactly, but in England anyway. And I was talking about how I wanted to have a youth yatra, and the only time it's possible is during December, because that's the only time anybody gets time off. And Divyanand Prabhu was driving the car, said, "We can make it happen." And he asked.
Thank you very much. Thank you for a very insightful session. I think I made some notes. I couldn't grasp the whole thing, but I'll be catching up with Vindarika, who normally makes all the notes, so we get a chance to catch up with her later on. How was today, by the way? Good. Especially, how was the Ranganath darshan? I think it was pretty intense, but we managed to get there, which was nice. I think, it was very nicely arranged by the devotees, and We also got to see Venkatabhatta's house from outside, which I think is really special because that's the place where it all took place, the whole Leela. So for tonight, we just have a very light Ekadashi prasadam for all of you. There is a devotee, very nice devotees here, they're coordinating prasadam for us. So we have a broccoli soup for you all and tapioca chips, tomato chutney and papaya for dinner. And this is the schedule for tomorrow. I just wanted to say before I share the schedule, I think we've been on a marathon pretty much every day from morning to evening. So we've taken a stock of things today as we got here and realized that our body needs some rest. And at the same time, we want to make sure that we have the opportunity to make the best of this association we have with Guru Maharaj and Guru Ma. So with keeping that in mind, we have made some adjustments to the schedule to make it relatively a bit more comfortable and at the same time absorbing. So with that in mind, I'm happy to share this is our tomorrow's schedule, which is as follows. So tomorrow morning we would like to depart. Well, the morning part is still there, 5:45 a.m. we would like to go. We still like to have an early start. But don't worry, you'll be happy as we go along now. So 5:45 a.m. we'll depart. We'll go to ISKCON temple. Just about 10 minutes are near the ISKCON temple. There is a nice little park with a pond where we'll have the japa session. It'll be a shorter one for half an hour, 45 minutes. Nothing too intense. We are not queuing up for any darshan at that time. So that will be that. And then we will visit the ISKCON temple. 7:10 is their Shringar Darshan Aarti, followed by Guru Puja. And there Guru Maharaj will be giving the Srimad Bhagavatam class tomorrow. And that class is a public class, an event for the devotees from Madurai to also get the opportunity to hear from Maharaj and for, of course, all of us. Following which, there will be a cake cutting for the new year. So we'll have a cake cutting ceremony tomorrow night. And after that, we will be going to one of the temple, Divya Desham temple, at 10 o'clock, leaving from there. And coming back at around 1:30 for lunch. The temple is very much on the way to the visit we are going to be doing to Divya Desham, so it's much easier and logistically easy because you saw when we are trying to get the prasadam delivered that how the 5 minutes becomes 50 minutes and then 55 minutes, it's difficult. So we're just trying to reduce the logistics and have the lunch at the temple on the way back here. So we'll do that, and then in the evening I will confirm either we'll have the program here or back at the temple, because there tomorrow evening we have a special program for all of you where the devotees are putting together a really nice menu, including the pizza once again. And then so we'll probably have the program there and have the dinner tomorrow evening at the temple and come back here. So that is the schedule for tomorrow. Yes, Prabhu. No more pizzas? Can't tolerate the pizzas?
It's on our goal list, no more pizza. Or cake.
Yeah, the evening program is just a katha, whether it's here or there. We are not planning to go to temple darshan tomorrow. We just want to balance it off. Yeah, so that's what we will be doing. And similarly, day after tomorrow, we'll just be visiting a very short time in the morning. And I know this has been a question, especially for girls, which have been asking my wife. So we have factored at least 3 hours of shopping for you all. So Vindarika Ramaya will coordinate that for all of you. So, and here is the opportunity for Prabhus, if you wanted some downtime, have some time, or wanted to, so that's your time for tomorrow, after tomorrow. Oh no, Amada Prabhu said you wanted to do shopping, right? Yeah. You're welcome. Yes, Prabhu. Do we have Vamsidhari Prabhu?
He's from here?
He's from here, yes. Yeah. Okay, all right. We'll figure that out. We'll definitely figure that out. What I would need you to do tomorrow at some point, I would like you to go and see Raj Prabhu to confirm your departure flight details so we can start to look at the airport transfers, because some of you are already leaving on the second evening. We had Aditi and Prashanta Prabhu who just left this evening. They had to go back for a family event, so they're just leaving tonight. But tomorrow, not tomorrow, day after, I think tomorrow is someone leaving? No, we don't have anyone leaving tomorrow. So second evening, we have a group of devotees leaving, but I think that's after the reflection session, and some may be leaving during the day. So I'll work that out with Raj Prabhu, and we just want to confirm your departure details, because some of the timings have changed. So we just want to make sure you got the right timings for the flights, and then confirm your airport drop at the same time. Yes, Prabhu.
Some of us will be driving to our next destination. What's the latest time we can check out of the hotel on Saturday?
On 3rd? Yeah, I think the checkout time is 11 o'clock, Prabhu, or I'll find out the exact time. I think it's 11 or 12. I'll put it onto the group. Yes, Prabhu.
When can we collect our passports back?
So you can do that tonight after the program. Please collect your passports. Thanks for asking that good question. Yeah, please collect your passports this evening. Any other questions from anyone? Are all of your roommates healthy? Is anyone who's not feeling well? Please let Mala Prabhu or Hinal Mataji know. Oh, good. Apart from, yes, go ahead.
I don't have a question, but I wanted to highlight Balaram, how he learned how to do the broadcast today with muting and unmuting the mics, and he just kind of sat down and took initiative, and he learned it so fast. I really wanted to appreciate
Okay, Chaitanya and Itai Nam Prabhu, for tomorrow's Sankirtan, would you like to give a quick update? Or we have last 2 days to do our best here. Would you like to say a few words about tomorrow and day after? Pass the mic to me.
Hare Krishna. Really great effort, first of all, just from everyone who's been participating. Let's see, I mean, especially when we got to Trichy Sri Rangam the other day, it was kind of a struggle to get a hold of, all of a sudden, a new language of books, Tamil books. But we managed to get them that night itself, and yesterday and today, and of course the next 2 days, we'll be able to distribute a lot of Tamil books, and we also got some big books by request of Akinchanaveta Prabhu and Ranchor, who are eager to distribute Gitas, and we also, by just, as a bonus, we got Krishna books and Ramayan books in Tamil, so anyone who's interested in just distributing, so of course we have all the small books as well. But we have enough books for the next 2 days, and hopefully we're out. We want to be done. But I think as a rough estimate, we've distributed about 1,100 plus books so far in the last 7 days. And with Lakshmi collections and donations, we've crossed about 55,000 rupees. With respect to goal setting on my part, that was a little underestimating on my part. But either way, I'm really, really happy to see how much effort has been going in, and it really it involves so much of the logistics between arranging the book packs and everything. So I'm really thankful with Ram and Veda as well, who have been helping with this. That's it.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Dear Srila Prabhupada, dear Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if you so desire, please give us great enthusiasm to follow in your footsteps, to integrate into our lives the highest values as you displayed in this world. And may we make 2026 a year to achieve worthy goals that will please you. Thank you for considering our request. Om Tat Sat. Everyone agrees with this prayer, in whole or in part. Please say Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpadavishya kripa sindhave vacha patitanam pavanibhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha ananta koti vaishnavi jai go premanande Hare.
Something just reminded me of something.